Hey, what's going on? It's me Mex, and I hope you're doing good, and today I'll review Hajime No Ippo's latest chapter, which is 1403, so let's get into it. And I just wanted to say I was really hyped while reading this chapter. This point of the match is what I think will probably be the climax of the whole fight. However, this series has a tendency to outdo itself every new chapter. So something I thought of during this chapter was either Ricardo Martinez figured out Wally's fighting style, or Wally just got nerfed in the middle of the match. I say this because all of the punches that Ricardo is landing this round probably would not have landed at the start of this fight. Ricardo does say that he's making his punches way more textbook and way more efficient, but I don't know. I'm very conflicted after this chapter because up until now, I didn't know who was going to win this match. I knew Ricardo would win because the plot kind of demands it to, but if an upset were to happen, I actually did prepare myself for it. But I really like seeing how Wally ends up getting a bit mad and irritated at how he's unable to do anything to push Ricardo back anymore. And seeing Wally get punished immensely in this chapter really hurts my soul because of how nice of a character he has become. And I wanted to point out the detail of Ricardo Martinez clenching his fist, and then it cuts to Wally's reaction to this. And the first time this happened, Wally literally ended up getting hit, and the second time this happened, Wally attempts to back away, and he ends up bumping into the referee, which shows how he's being observant as well. Like, all the control Wally had before this chapter is all gone, and I like seeing the monologue Ricardo Martinez has. It's basically the same as the other monologues he's had in the story about him not being God, and you know the one I'm talking about. And that panel of Ricardo just standing there looking forward is just so cool. And the reaction of Wally before and after looking at Ricardo is really great, since we see that he ends up losing his composure a bit. And Ippo points out that Wally's breath is getting ragged because of the elevation in Mexico. And they did prepare for the scenario of the elevation, if you remember. But I guess that training really only got them so far in the end. And Miguel saying that if Wally gets back to the corner, he'll give him advice, and Ippo pointing out that Miguel said if really makes me scared. Because this is literally the one scenario Miguel did not want to happen. Which is proved to be the case because before Miguel said if, he said they have one final trump card. Which this line proves that the endgame of the fight is happening very soon. But real quick, let's move into the predictions for chapter 1404. But I got my last prediction wrong, so we are currently 7 and 6. And next chapter, I think, based off how this chapter ended, in typical Hajime no Ippo fashion, I think the round will end, and Wally will end up hearing the advice from Miguel. I'm sorry for the crappy prediction, but I feel like I have a good chance of getting it right, and I really don't want to have a tied record. But I honestly feel that Ricardo Martinez evolved to a new level of strength in this chapter. I'm sure this isn't the strongest he will be for the series, but I feel like this is the strongest we've seen him yet. The way this chapter ends is just phenomenal, since it ends with Ricardo Martinez pushing Wally into the corner of the ring. We see that the metaphor of the ring being a jungle is used to its fullest in the end, with Wally literally being pushed out of the jungle. And Ricardo's coach, Bill, says that Ricardo has reached the ultimate goal of boxing, and that's to basically perfect the fundamentals. And against all odds, Wally is the first one to go down in the match, and the art for it is so painful, yet euphoric. But I just want to thank everyone for 330 subscribers and for the support on my last YouTube short and on my last video. I would really like to hear any thoughts you had on this video or on this chapter, and on that note, this is Mex signing off. It's been real.